Welcome back, everyone, to Company Heroes 2. Yeah, it's been a long while since I've actually done anything in this game regarding to Code 2 or anything like that, but hey, yeah, guess it's time to do some more. Now, this is a replay that was sent in like a million years ago, so I'm very sorry. It's sent in, obviously, by Charles Martel, as you can see, who you may remember is a pretty well-known figure around here, sends a lot of replays, and his friend is themaxis, who is his habitual playing partner, and they're playing as the Soviets on Vaux Farmlands, as you can see, 2v2, and their enemies are Feta Steak and Scrooty McBooger Balls, or Booger Balls. Interesting. Now, there's been a lot of updates to Company of Heroes 2. There's been new commanders added, there's been probably balance patches, all that kind of stuff. I haven't paid attention to any of it, and I've never played it since, you know, since the end of the Company of Heroes 2 on my channel. I have never touched the game. But hey, let's get back into it, let's have some fun. So yeah, this isn't going to be the most, you could say, informative commentary ever, but hey, I'm guessing that most of the basics are the same, right? So yeah, basically they are playing as the Soviets versus the OKW, and well, you know, there's going to be some fun stuff. So Strategic Reserves Doctrine is a new thing, as you can see. It's got the glorious Assault Grenadiers, but we're going to check that out later. First off, we have some engagements in the north. Obviously it's Vaux Farmlands, so everyone wants to control the fuels that are on the opposite ends. On the south, we have the Charles Martel is trying to capture the house over here, which is always pretty crucial. However, Mr. Wehrmacht man is getting out the MG42s to try to stop him, and it's working out relatively well so far. He's hoping probably to support the MG42s with the Assault Grenadiers. So yeah, that's going to be relatively interesting. His doctrine also is going to allow him to get the Panzer IV-J, upgraded Panzer IVs from the HQ. I'm guessing after he has built the Heavy Panzer Corps, yep, or Support Armor Corps. And then a few other things that we're going to check out later. In the north, we have that the themaxis is spamming out some conscripts to gain superiority over these open fields, and it looks like he almost got the wipe on the Sturm Pioneer, but that's, you know, that's a lost opportunity right there. He wasn't able to chase because, I guess, these Volksgrenadiers, or maybe some problems with micromanagement. And over here, we don't have any of the new doctrines, but Charles Martel has also picked one of the new doctrines, which is the airborne troops tactics. And that allows you to get airdropped SVTs, which is pretty damn cool for your conscripts. While you can also get machine gun pair drop at, well, 2 command points, and then after that, airborne rally points, which is, you know, obviously, like, forward retreat points, guards airborne troops, which can get, I think, Papashas. Yeah, can be upgraded for short or long range combat, and the tactical Il-2 Sturmovik run, so that's going to be interesting to see. Nice flank coming in from Charles Martel. He's losing his side, so he's going to help out his ally secure control of their north, which is a really good idea, considering that that's at least going to give them half the map. He's already got some of the SVTs upgraded. And, oh, mobilized reserves, increases squad size by 1. Reduces reinforced cost, improves rate of fire and cover, increases veterancy gain. Okay, seems pretty good, but he doesn't have weapon inventory space. Okay. And it also requires the mechanized armor Campagnia. Interesting. I mean, after mechanized armor Campagnia, unupgraded conscripts doesn't sound like the best idea ever, but who knows. Looks like we have a bit of an engagement up here, and well, Assault Grenadiers are coming in, and there's both the squads coming into close range, so yeah, the Soviets are going to have to run away very, very quickly to prevent themselves from being just absolutely annihilated by the MP40s. You know, glorious little assault weapons at close range. Now, our brave infantry is dying. What just died, I have no idea, but something just got wiped for the Germans. And looks like the Allies are going to get pushed back out of the north really bad. Soviets, however, are making good use of that airdrop weapons. It's only 45 munitions, and, you know, you get all your guys, actually, no, not all your guys. You get 4 SVTs. Okay, interesting. That definitely does help with the firepower, though. It's kind of like a mini penal squad at this point. Except it's obviously cheaper. And I believe the conscripts also have a little bit of better veterancy, but whatever. Okay, so support weapons company, sorry, coming up for the Maxis as well as for Charles Martel. So they're going to try to get some support weapons on the field, some squad weapons. However, at this point, it's a really bad situation for the Soviets because, well, right now, as you can see, they have basically, you know, no map control at all. They do have one fuel cache coming up to get a little bit of extra resources, but the rest of the map is completely in the hands of the Germans. They are retaking the north side a little bit, and Feta Steak got his battle group headquarters in a defensive position at his headquarters, not really deploying it forward, so I guess they're going to be able to retake some territory. In fact, it even looks like the center can turn out pretty good for them. Like the one conscript versus one grenadier fight probably isn't going to go that well for the conscript yet. He's going to have to escape. But hey, he does have a slight amount of pressure applied to the center, and now he's, you know, pushing up with his conscripts to help out the Maxis. So, you know, Charles Martel working out with his friend, and oh, looks like we have some guards airborne being pair dropped, but oh god, he can't get into the building because of the flamethrowers, and looks like there's a bit of micromanagement problems, so he's gonna have to run away. So first engagement for the guards airborne, not exactly the best. Now let me see, what weapon do you have by default? Oh, you have SVTs. Wait, no. No, apparently, but that's an SVT. Yeah, okay, that's an SVT, but that's another SVT. That's another SVT. And that's an SVT. Oh, okay, I just fucked up. Okay, so these guys have SVTs. Fine. So they all have automatic rifles, and oh, the conscript flank working out relatively well, doing some good damage to the German infantry, but taking some damage of their own, so they have to run away. And these Stern Pioneers are gonna get wiped if they are not careful. Yeah, it's definitely a wipe. Oh my god. Ah! So Hans has been just absolutely executed by the Soviet Union over there. And yeah, so conscripts moving up. They're likely to throw some Molotov cocktails. Yeah, he threw the Molotov cocktail at the entrance, but there's another entrance. I used to remember that there was only one entrance to this building. Also, they added windows. There used to be no windows to that building, but whatever. I guess it makes sense, you know. It was pretty pointless before that. MG42, yeah, it looks like Scrody Boogerballs has adopted the tried and true strategy of let's just put the MG in the building and forget about it to defend the fuel point. So, working out well so far. He holds the south. And yeah, so the Soviets still maintaining next to no map control. This is really, really bad, especially because the Germans are going to be starting to get some serious tech, as you can see. Sure, Panzer Headquarters is already up for Feta Steak, and he can get the Panzer IV Ausf J like very, very early on. 70 more fuel for that, which means a couple more minutes, and he's going to have the Panzer in production, which means that probably by around 13 minutes he can have it out, which is relatively early. And yeah, as you can see, he's pretty happy about his life situation, just going full easy peasy lemon squeezy on the Soviets. Now, can they make him repentant and sad that he so early announces his glorious victory? We'll see, because we have an MG coming out for the Maxis. Charles Martel has basically his entire doctrine unlocked, which means that he can pair drop the Dushka HMG, obviously pretty damn good, and it's only 125 manpower. You know, 50 munitions is a lot, but 125 manpower means that you can probably just crew it with engineers, because I doubt that it's coming in with the crew as well. But yeah, like, for Dushka, that's cheap, because the engineers are like cheap SL to reinforce, like 17 manpower if I recall correctly, so that would be 34. It's a free-man crew, so 34. Oh, sorry, it's the Soviets, so it's whatever. But you know, you get free men on it at once, and oh. not the highest DPS coming out of these guards airborne, but he has upgrading with the Papashas. The other option would have been free DP light machine gun. Holy hell, free DP light machine guns, but whatever. So he's gonna have some essentially light shock troops. You know, shock troops without the whatchamacallit, without the armor. The bonus is that you have the fire superiority, which force the enemy infantry to see cover. Okay, so it's basically like a kind of suppression-ish thing, which sounds really useful. And oh, there goes the Volksgrenadier. So Feta Stake right now is probably going to be regretting his like triumphant victory speech Goebbels mode. Yeah. Almost lost another Volksgrenadiers. Honestly, he should have just chased with that conscript squad, but hey, whatever. Looks like the Grenadiers are trying to counterattack are getting burned and are being turned into basically just, oh Jesus, into Katliet. And looks like a T-70 is on the field, which I didn't realize was gonna happen. T-70 light tank, and Fallschirmjägers aren't gonna have a happy time facing that guy. They did manage, however, to get a Panzerfaust on the guy, which prevents the chase, which prevents the wipe. So I guess that's okay. And now he's gonna need to use his engineers, which are on the other side of the map, to repair, so that's not, you know, not ideal. But if the Soviets are bringing out a T-70, the Germans are bringing out the Panzerfaust, and that's obviously going to be relatively strong. Also, Scrody has skipped Tier 2, which is never the best idea ever. Skipped Tier 2 and is going for the Heavy Panzer Corps. And so that means that he can now build his own Panzer IV-Js. Now, is it going to be the same Panzer IV-J as the OKW? Probably, considering it's relic. So they're probably, you know, too lazy to make differences. But maybe they're annoying enough to make differences. I mean, it looks pretty much the same. 14 pop cap. Well, this one is 14 pop cap. So it's entirely identical in costs, resources, all that kind of stuff. So I'm guessing it's the same. He's building one right now. Yep. The other options would have been a Broom Bear. Honestly, that might not have been the worst idea ever, considering that they've held both fuels for like a long, long time. So it would have been, you know, would have been a given that the Soviets don't really have that heavy armor. In fact, it's 2 T-70s, which might be very, very scary against the infantry, but they don't have any defense against the armor. In fact, a bit of friendly fire coming in. Anti-tank grenade coming, but that was not effective enough because it was still at full HP, so no engine damage, and the T-70 is trying to run away, but the, I guess, log is not that big of an issue. Here comes another AT grenade. No, he doesn't have the upgrade, and so the T-70, oh my god, he missed! Hans, why the fuck do you miss? And so he got the upgrade just in time to get one last AT grenade, and here comes more infantry with more AT grenades, but it's a Panzer IV, so the Panzer IV, if he just stops and fires at the infantry, he's likely to win. However, there's a problem because there's a ZIS-free divisional field gun. The Germans are trying to bring up infantry to support, but they get hit by a mine. Really nice mine. Kills 4 infantry. And the T-70 is coming back in to, you know, push them out. However, the Panzer IV is, despite the engine damage, still a little bit too mobile and manages to run away. In the meantime, the Soviets are bringing up heavy AT, which is a good idea because there's another Panzer IV Aufsteh. Hello, Soviets, here comes the Panzer IV, but it doesn't really matter because at this point there's just way too much infantry. Assault grenades coming from the south from the Assault Grenadiers, which are now 6 men. They used to be 5. Interesting. It doesn't matter though because the T-70 is here, and the T-70 with negative cover just absolutely obliterates the entire squad. Just absolutely, you know, mercilessly slaughters them. We have some more anti-tank grenades coming in from the Soviet AT infantry. No, not AT infantry, from the conscripts, but the conscripts get absolutely wiped out in their turn by the Assault Grenadiers, who, oh, they're there because they have the veteran squad leader. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, so, like, this engagement just, you know, everyone just died. If we take a look at the charts over here, overview graph, we see that the army value of everyone just took a bit of a hit, especially though the Germans. Look at that drop for Scrody McScroger balls. He has lost a lot, but actually a lot of it is not units lost, it's just that he took immensely heavy casualties. So despite the fact that he has lost a lot, he can still reinforce his way back up relatively easily. He's got a couple of Grenadier squads, 3 Assault Grenadiers, 1 Flamer NG. He's getting another Engineer, which is a good idea because he's spamming Panzer IV, so he's going to need a lot of repair capacity, capabilities. And he's still got the MG42, and he's getting, well, another Panzer IV in addition to his existing Panzer IV. So he has a pretty strong lineup. In fact, when he actually gets Panzer IV, he's going to be at around like almost 80 pop cap, which would put him at, well, almost as much as the 2 Soviet players combined. His friend is not in as good of a position. His Fallschirmjäger strategy isn't really working out all that much. You know, pretty boring doctrine, of course. Jack of all trades, pretty much. Doesn't give him anything particularly interesting to do, but his Panzer IV has been allowing him to push back these T-70s a little bit. Although it hasn't been as effective as it could have been, because look at this, T-70 number 1, 12 kills, T-70 number 2, 2 kills, but halfway to Vet 1, so he's done a lot of damage, even though he hasn't done a lot of killing. So the T-70s are being, you know, very effective. They're paying for themselves. And look at these Soviet Vet 2 conscripts just absolutely obliterating the Volksgrenadiers thanks to the SVTs. So, yeah, the Germans are slowly but surely being pushed back by the Soviet mid-game, which is not something that I ever thought I would say, but yeah, really cool. Lots of AT guns and solid infantry play, working out in the favor of the Soviets, and obviously using those T-70s to push back the German infantry wherever it's around. And as you can see, the 2 Panzer IVs coming in from the Wehrmacht player, you know, they're very effective, but the AT guns, they exist. And yeah, really nice AT grenade means that this first Panzer IV is not going to be, it's not going to be fighting anytime soon. The conscripts, however, do need to get behind like some serious cover right now, and looks like the AT guns are getting flanked by some assault grenadiers, getting caught without any support. So the T-70 is going to have to redeploy in and help, along with the Maxim, but the Maxim is derping out. The Germans are bringing in the Panzer IV. They've also got a Raketenwerfer, and oh, looks like the assault grenadiers dove a little bit too deeply and too greedily into the lines, and they're incredibly lucky to be alive. Yep, incredibly lucky to be alive indeed. Now, the Germans also have some pretty high-level doctrine play that they can do. They've got breakthrough packages, which gives upgrades to Pioneers and Panzer Grenadiers. Smoke grenades for the Panzer Grenadiers, in fact, is a pretty damn good ability, to be honest. Now, what is this support package? Special charges to destroy obstacles and fortifications. Additional equipment also improve repair speed. That's really useful because Wehrmacht doesn't have that many ways to repair quickly. So especially for someone that's gonna spam out some panzers like that, that's a really viable alternative to a lot of minesweeping in late game. While you also get the mobile observation post half track, I sincerely doubt that's gonna be used. And the Tiger Ace, because of course. Here comes some assault grenades, which are obviously gonna miss because assault grenades can't hit the side of a barn. Oh, will they be able to get some shots in? Yup, they do. And also damage engine. Are they still in range for a second shot? No, there's another Soviet AT gun coming in, but he's going to be pushed back by the Volksgrenadiers. In the meantime, there's also some German pushing from the south, and these Fallschirmjäger are likely to die right now because look at how clumped up they are to the T-70. Oh no, what are you doing? Run away! He's incredibly lucky that the T-70 missed. The T-70 misses again. Dimitri, what the fuck are you doing? He misses a third time. The fourth time, however, is not a miss. And, yo, conscripts with the mobilized reserves actually have cover bonus, like the British. Interesting. Here comes a Fallschirmjäger assault for the beams, pretty much, because, yeah, there's a couple of AT guns, but they're able to run away. That, however, does allow the Panzer IV to push in. Really nice combo from Feta Steak, and now he almost manages to destroy the divisional field gun. Can he finish it off? Maybe. There's no mines around. That's a big mistake from Charles Martel because he had 120 munitions that could have been used. He's got the tactical Il-2 Sturmovik strafing run. However, you know, he's gonna need to immobilize the tank somehow, and he doesn't really have that many munitions because if he has to immobilize the tank, he has to use some AT grenades, which is obviously going to turn his munitions into nothing, into explosions. However, the T-70s are just absolutely obliterating all the German foot troops. So the leg infantry is taking a heavy, heavy hit. Here comes the conscripts, but a second Panzer force coming into flank from Federstake. He's floating quite a few resources, but not as many as the Allies, and the Germans are making better use of their resources, which means that they have a little slight edge, you know, in units that they can throw into the mix, and that's definitely showing itself. Yeah, so the field gun is doing its job at deterring the Panzer force slightly, but at this point, considering that the other one is destroyed and looks like the themaxis doesn't really have all that much AT. You know, only one AT gun. Charles Martel has lost his AT guns. The Panzer IVs are just kind of running wild. And there's also a Panzerwerfer that's been deployed by Scrudy McBoogerbolv. That's a really annoying name to say, to deal with the rest of the AT guns. However, the Soviets are starting to get alternative measures. We have a T-34-76 at 22 minutes, which is very late, but hey, it's around from Charles Martel. And the themaxis is getting out at Su-85, which is an interesting decision because he decided to go for a heavy motor, shock motor tactics, which allows him to get, obviously, the Su-152 assault gun. So getting out an Su-85 before the Su-152, interesting choice. He could have just waited for the Su, but he decides that, you know, the threat from enemy armor is so high that the Su-85 is going to be good. Here comes some salvage operations from the Sturm Pioneers. Good idea. And they're going to be executed a little bit by the Maxim, but, you know, not enough. Oh, there goes that Pioneer. And yeah, so the Germans are likely to get a pretty nasty, you know, shock wake-up call when the Su-85 reveals itself. However, they still have 4 Panzer IVs, which is a lot of Panzer IVs. So they can still do some nice work, you know, flanking these guys and doing that stuff. And there goes a Soviet rifleman squad. Man, there's been a lot of infantry wiping going on, pretty much from everyone. Hello? It's grenades! On both sides. Interesting. And, yeah. Alright, another wipe. Damn. Soviets down to 87 pop cap, which is, well, a little bit more than Federstake on his own. But Scrudy also has 71. So I'd say the best thing that the Soviets are doing right now is kind of projecting. Like, telling the Germans, hey, look, we're pushing in, we're, you know, scary and all. But they're actually really, really weak. So if the Germans were a little bit more aggressive, especially by getting a little bit of harassment down on the southern points, like getting some of their like grenadiers or assault grenadiers to cap some of these points to divert some forces, they'd be able to seriously push in and probably triple cap the Soviets. The VP situation is at 264 versus 380. So the Germans are ahead, and they have the potential to be much more ahead because, as you can see, they have, you know, a lot more. But they're deciding to play a little bit of the Nazi defense and let's wait for big heavy tanks kind of game. The SAG race is gonna be relatively soon for Scrudy McBoogerballs because 250 fuel and 800 manpower, he can get that in a few minutes. Second T-34. Oh boy, T-34 is in big shit. The Rakettenwerfer plus the Panzer IVs, and yeah, it's dead. Oh, here comes some Panzerwerfer as well. Is that gonna be on the... Yeah. Well, that was the most pathetic Panzerwerfer I've ever seen. Here comes some shock troops as well. Nice grenade, but that's a little bit too late to save T-34 number 1. T-34 number 2, though, is still around, and the Panzer IV tries to move in to get a flanking off on the Su-85, but it's taking heavy, heavy damage. Will there be a chase? Will there be a ram? Doesn't need to be. It's dead. Good job. So, Germans losing some of their assets over here. Not the best. Grenade missed, And looks like the Soviets can also recap North Fuel, which is obviously, you know, very important because they also have a fuel cache, which means that if they get the fuel point up north, they're 1-to-1, and they're going to have more fuel than the Germans, more fuel income. However, Feta Stake is, I think, going for a King Tiger, because he's getting the thing, the mechanized regiment headquarters. And, ooh, oh, that's an MG42. Did he lose a Grenadier squad? Yep. Looks like he lost the Grenadier squad, and he's getting run over. Lots of grenades, however, just absolutely annihilate the Soviet infantry around here. Will there be a wipe on the Vet Zero squad? Maybe? Yep. Wipe achieved. However, is it worth losing a Grenadier squad? Most likely not. Oh, but he's absolutely obliterating the engineers as well, who were repairing and thus were, you know, more vulnerable. And now the T-34 is in trouble because the Panzer IV is pushing in, and there's absolutely nothing over here. However, it's not a good idea to actually push in. Like, it is a good idea, but from the perspective of Scrooty McScrooterballs, there's, like, he doesn't know anything. So, yeah, he doesn't chase, which is a good idea, because chasing right there would have been a very big blunder. So, yeah, I'd say priority number one for the Soviets, get control of this, this fuel point established, and then put pressure on mid-VP. And then, of course, look to late game. Like, what units can you get out? Like, right now, Charles Martel is doing pretty well when it comes to the infantry game. Oh, Sniperino coming in from the Su-85. Well done on the Panzerwerfer. And then think, okay, so what are the Nazis likely to do? We've seen a couple of Panzer IVs, but not much else. So they're maybe saving up for something big. So I think that for Charles Martel, Su-85s really should be a priority. Because the Maxis now will not be getting any more Su-85s. He's going to be focusing on saving up for the Su-152. Which, by the way, he needs to be kind of, well, we could say careful, because he lacks 100 fuel, right? 260, 160. He's getting 25 fuel per minute. You know, around, it's going to take a few minutes, 3 to 4, to get enough fuel, because he might cap the fuel point up here and get some, you know, extra income. Oh, hello. Привет, как дела? And, oh, this guy's gonna die. Yeah, I think he's gonna die. And so, he's gonna take a few minutes to get enough fuel for the Su-152. However, he's gonna get a lot of manpower in that time, and he already has way more than enough manpower. He's floating more manpower. Why did you not chase? It's an Su-85. You can stay at range. Oh my god. Oh my god. He's gonna sacrifice the T-34, which it's a good trade because it's a Vet 2 P4. Ram. You need to ram, otherwise you're not gonna get to kill. Oh my god, he's not gonna get to kill, and now he's in trouble because that's like, if they chase, they're gonna kill him. And if they chase, they're going to kill the Su-85 as well. There's not enough backup because there's no AT guns, and looks like the infantry has been killed as well. However, they're not chasing. They're running away, and that exposes their rear to, you know, damage. And yeah, the King Tiger is here. Hello. Which is not the best decision ever for Feta Stake, to be honest, because his opponent is getting a lot of AT, you know? So, yeah. It's getting countered, like by the Su-85 and of course the AT guns and of course the Su-152. So who knows? Finally, some moves to the south, but it's only assault grenadiers, which means that, hello, my name is T-3476, and I now come to run you over because this is Mother Russia and we kill people here. And you know, like, he can't do anything about this. In fact, these two T-34s could probably just rush down here and kill the MG and, you know, then activate secure mode and cap the point. And then once the German P4s arrive, he just runs away. Now, Scrooty McBoogerballs is having the opposite problem of the Maxis. Instead of floating more manpower than he needs and having less fuel than he needs, he is floating more fuel than he needs and has less manpower than he needs. Because he's getting a lot of Panzer Grenadiers, which I'm guessing is because he wants the upgrade. He's got the upgrade, you know, with the smoke grenades and the combined arms. So, yeah, I guess that's what he wants, but, I'm not sure if getting 2 Panzer Grenadiers was a good decision when he could have just gone the Tiger Ace. Although, I mean, if the Tiger Ace is, oh, Jesus. Incredibly lucky to not lose those guys. If the Tiger Ace gives them the resources penalty, which he shouldn't because, you know, 250 fuel, then that would be pretty bad. And there goes the Panzer IV. He had it coming for a long, long time. He was just, you know, exposing the rear armor to the enemy, all that kind of stuff. And oh god, Blitzkrieg to get out! You know, just what everyone loves, just Blitzkrieg for a quick advance, and it's used to run the fuck away. And the King Tiger, as you can see, you know, he's just at the mercy of this vet-free Su-85, which is an insane powerhouse. However, he needs to be careful because here comes the Panzer IV to chase. First shot misses. Blitzkrieg tactics, here he comes. Does he have enough backup to survive? He's gonna take a couple more shots and then be dead, so that's really, really bad. The AT gun sets up in the wrong location, and what the fuck is he doing? No! Why are you going into the Panzer IV? There's no smoke, obviously, so there goes the vet-free Su-85. That's why you need to be incredibly careful. Man, I wish this was the AI so he could throw anti-tank grenades out of his MGs. In case you don't know, the AI in Company of Heroes 2 cheats and throws anti-tank grenades from recruit MGs by conscripts. They throw AT grenades. It's just the best. Yeah, that's just incredibly, you know, unfortunate. At the same time, however, he should have imagined this. Like, Su-85s are not exactly the most durable vehicles. Looks like he's gonna get some revenge on the Vet-2 P4. Whoa, he can do the Blitzkrieg again already? Insane. And the Su-152 missed. So that's incredibly unlucky. Here comes the AT grenade, however, and yeah, that's the end. Here comes also some IL-2 precision bombing strikes. Okay, there he goes. Is the IL-2 gonna hit anything? Yeah, some Volks Grenadiers that were coming in to support. And this Panzer IV is not in a good spot with the Su-152. So yeah, he's gonna need to run away. Volks Grenadiers trying to move in for a Panzerfaust, but the Su is relatively smart and runs away. Now the Su is in a really good position to command a battlefield because the only opponent on the northern side from Feta Stake, in terms of armor, the only mobile unit that he's going to have is the King Tiger, which is not exactly the most mobile unit of the world. So there's basically no counter to the Su-152 because the King Tiger is going to be, you know, kited and pretty much chunked down by the big gun, the Beast Killer's Viera boy. While in the south, yeah, we had the guy that was spamming Panzer IVs, and he's gonna get the Tiger Ace, and the Tiger Ace is pretty damn decent. However, the Tiger Ace is gonna have to deal with, you know, all the T-34s and the Su-85 as well, so yeah, if the Soviets play well and get these units synergizing with each other, they're gonna have a very nice day. There goes, however, the shock troops. They still need to be careful of the Königstiger's ability to destroy infantry. And also squad weapons. This guy is on negative cover. That's not a good thing. T-34 can't do anything, so yeah, run away. However, as you can see, the Soviets are now relatively equal when it comes to pop cap and, you know, army size compared to the Germans, whereas before they were basically, you know, at half their strength, and even before at half their strength, they were just barely holding on when it comes to the map control. Now the map control, tripwire flares, hilarious. Now the map control is coming in the favor, obviously, of the Soviet Union because, you know, the balance of power has shifted. And so the Germans now are in serious trouble. And oh, now the Tiger Ace can get veterancy. Hilarious. Yeah, apparently they do not give, it does not give the resource malice anymore. I guess that's fine. So it's basically now a side grade from the King Tiger, let's just call it. Ooh, Su-152 not having the brightest of days because he was showing the rear armor for some reason. Just like basically like a beached whale. And King Tiger's moving in, but he's gonna eat some anti-tank grenades with basically no infantry support. What is the KT doing? The infantry is idle in base, and he's moving in with the King Tiger. That's not the best idea ever. Here comes the airborne assault to get a little bit of extra, and it pins these guys who were moving in for the anti-tank grenades. So that's definitely a good use of munitions, you know, 200 fucking munitions to save your King Tiger. But the King Tiger is still eating damage from Su-152 and Su-85. So he's going to have to run away. And the Soviets keep control of center because the Tiger Ace took some heavy pounding, as well as the P4 in support. While in the north and center, again, there's no infantry backup, so doesn't matter how many Fallschirmjäger assaults you want to call in, doesn't matter how many King Tigers you have, nor how many Panzer IVs you decide to move in as well. Like, it's just not enough. Thankfully, he is facing an AT gun that's doing the artillery barrage. But, you know, Su-85 still exist, getting countered by the Raketenwerfer, but they still exist. Oh god, run. He's missing as well. Run the fuck away. And the guy is moving into too close range, but he doesn't have any munitions. So that's unlucky. And we're getting close to the end. How? We're pretty much, like, both sides are pretty much even. Oh. Okay, wasted Panzer IV. Tiger Ace moving in alone, again, with no infantry backup. You have, like, 7 infantry squads. What are they doing? Okay, they're finally coming, but they're a little late. Thankfully, the Tiger manages to destroy the AT gun. Yeah, let's just say the combined arms is definitely more in the veins of the Russians right now. There goes the T-34, of course, because of the Panzerschrecks. But the Soviets get the VP again. Big German infantry push up north. Those shock troops are gonna die. You know, I feel like the themaxis really should have gotten Charles Martel to pair drop an AMG for him to hold this north point. And oh boy, here comes the Su-152 with the high explosive rounds. Is he gonna high explosive anything? Oh my god. Is there any flanking attempt coming in? Oh yeah, the King Tiger that's moving in by showing the rear armor. Okay, in reverse. And the Panzer IV coming in from the south. Also a couple of infantry squads. Looks like the Germans are trying to surround the Allies, essentially, but the Germans are taking incredible pounding up here. Looks like both of the squads that were moving in have been destroyed. The vet-free Panzer IV is dying. The Tiger Ace is moving in to assist to destroy this Su-85, which is a really good idea because the Su-85 is taking heavy pounding and it was doing a lot of damage. However, the Tiger Ace also takes a bunch of hits from a flanking Su-85. All the German tanks are coming in now from a single avenue of attack, which is obviously really bad because this allows the Su-85s to get a little bit of extra damage. Ram comes in and doesn't destroy the Tiger Ace. That's incredibly unlucky for the Soviets, which, you know, it should have happened, but the King Tiger is dead, and the Panzer IV is also dead, and the Tiger Ace died as well somehow, and that's the end of the German armor force. Wait, you can get two... You can get more than one Tiger Ace? What the fuck? Okay, so it's not over because Scrooty McBoogerballs can get another Tiger Ace very soon, and he has, you know, a lot of infantry. While Feta Steak, he's lost everything. Okay, that explains why the game is about to end. So yeah, I have no idea what just happened. So basically what happened is the Germans were winning in the early game because they were using their infantry better. Then in the mid game, they were winning because they had map control over the fuel, and so they were able to get the Panzer IVs earlier, and while they had Panzer IVs, the Soviets had D-70s, and so obviously they were winning. Then they were, you know, kind of pushed back in the mid to late game because the Soviets just started to play very aggressively despite the fact that they were, you know, behind, like, incredibly, and the Germans fell for it, which allowed the Soviets to get a little bit of extra map control, just enough to get an armor force together. Then in the late game, the Germans were still ahead, obviously, from all the sort of accumulated advantage that they had. But at one point, they just decided to throw everything away in one last charge. You know, honestly, they could still have had time to regather some forces and, you know, get back up, retake some points. Like, it would have been hard because they had, like, look at this. Fate Aztec has 1,000 manpower and 200 fuel. In a couple of minutes, he could have gotten another King Tiger. Or he could have gotten a Jagdpanzer or a Panther. Combine that with quite a bit of infantry, like, you know, one Fallschirmjäger squad, one Reckenwerfer, one Volksgrenadier. Then you get all of that to support Scrooty McBoogerballs, who has the more forces. You hold south and center as much as possible, and then work towards German late game, you know, reconstituting your armor force, all that kind of stuff. They had 230 VPs to work with. Why they didn't do it, I have no idea. But yeah, whatever. Just goes to show you that if you lose all your stuff in one go, that's not good. So yeah, I want to thank you all for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this first foray back into Company of Heroes, and I will see you soon.